Choo-choo.
Choo-choo.
Imagine you are standing at the end of your life, looking back at everything. Not your career, not your bank account, not your achievements, but your child. The way they laugh, the way they handle pain, the way they love other people. Now ask yourself one question. Did the way I raised them make them feel safe enough to become who they truly are? Most parents never ask this question early enough, and the ones who do, they change everything. This documentary is not about perfect parenting. It is about something far more powerful. Stay with us until the very end, because the last 5 minutes of this video contain the most important message any parent will ever hear. The biggest misconception. Here is the biggest lie most parents believe. Good parents are born, not made. We grow up watching our own parents. We form ideas in our heads. We think, when I become a parent, I will know what to do. But nobody is born knowing how to parent. Not a single person. Parenting is a skill, just like cooking, driving, or learning a new language. And like every skill, it must be learned, practiced, and sometimes corrected. Every parent makes mistakes. Every single one. The question is not whether you will make mistakes. The question is, are you willing to learn from them? Because here is what the science actually tells us. Children do not need perfect parents. They need emotionally available parents. They need consistent parents. They need parents who show up, even when it is hard. That is what this documentary is about. Let us begin. Right now, just pause for a moment. We are just getting started. Stay with us, because coming up, we are going to show you something about your child's brain that will completely change how you see parenting. Section 1. What does it really mean to be a good parent? Close your eyes and picture a good parent. What do you see? Maybe someone who gives their child the best education, the best clothes, the best opportunities. Maybe someone who never loses their temper, who always has the right answer, who never makes a mistake. That image, that picture-perfect parent, is not real. And chasing that image is actually harming you. When parents believe they must be perfect, they live in constant guilt. Every mistake feels like failure. Every bad day feels like evidence that they are not good enough. Psychologist Donald Winnicott spent decades studying parent-child relationships, and he introduced one of the most liberating ideas in all of parenting science: the good enough parent. His research showed that children do not need perfect parents. They need parents who are present enough, responsive enough, and consistent enough. Think about that. Not perfect. Good enough. Because when parents try too hard to be perfect, they stop being real. And children need real. Children need human. A parent who says, "I made a mistake and I am sorry," teaches their child more about emotional health than a parent who pretends to never be wrong. Here is another truth that might surprise you. Material gifts are not what your child will remember most. The toy you bought, the vacation you planned, the expensive birthday party. Research in developmental psychology consistently shows that what children remember, what shapes them, is how their parents made them feel. Did they feel heard? Did they feel safe? Did they feel like they mattered? That is good parenting. Keep watching. In just a moment, we are going to talk about something called secure attachment and why it might be the single most important thing you can give your child. Build a secure emotional connection. In the 1950s, a British psychiatrist named John Bowlby made a discovery that changed the world of child psychology forever. He noticed something simple but profound. Children who felt emotionally connected to their caregivers grew up healthier, more confident, and more capable of handling life's challenges. Children who did not feel that connection, even if they had food, shelter, and toys, struggled deeply. Bowlby called this attachment theory. His idea was this: every child is born with a deep biological need to feel safe with at least one adult. That adult becomes their safe base, the person they run to when they are scared, hurt, or confused. Later, researcher Mary Ainsworth took Bowlby's work further. Through careful experiments, she identified different attachment styles in children. Children with secure attachment, children who knew their parent would respond to them, grew up to be emotionally stable adults. They had better relationships, better mental health, more resilience. Children with insecure attachment, children whose emotional needs were consistently ignored or unpredictably met, carried those wounds into adulthood. So, how do you build secure attachment? It is not complicated, but it is consistent. It starts with eye contact. When your child speaks to you, really look at them. Not at your phone, not at the TV, at them. That simple act sends a powerful message. You are important. I see you. It continues with physical affection. A hug when they are sad. A hand on the shoulder when they are nervous. Physical touch activates the nervous system and tells a child's brain, you are safe. And it deepens through active listening. Not just hearing the words, but listening for the feeling behind the words. When your child says, I hate school, the wrong response is, don't say that. School is important. The right response is, tell me what happened today. I want to understand. That small difference, that shift from dismissing to listening, is what makes a child feel safe enough to keep talking to you. Emotional safety is not built in big, dramatic moments. It is built in small, ordinary ones, every single day. You are doing great. Stay with us. Coming up next, we are going to look inside your child's brain, and what you learn might completely change your daily routine as a parent. Understand your child's brain. Here is a fact that should stop every parent in their tracks. By the age of 5 years old, a child's brain has already formed more than 90% of its adult size. Let that sink in. The first 5 years of a child's life are not just important, they are critical. During this time, the brain is building connections at a speed that will never happen again. Scientists call this neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to shape itself based on experience. And the experiences that shape it most, they are not expensive toys or educational software. They are interactions with you. The Harvard Center on the Developing Child calls it serve and return. Think of it like a tennis game. Your baby looks at you. That is the serve. You smile back, make a sound, or respond with words. That is the return. Every time you respond to your child's sounds, gestures, or expressions with warmth and attention, you are physically building their brain. Those back and forth interactions strengthen the neural pathways responsible for communication, trust, and emotional regulation. And when those interactions are missing, when a parent is consistently distracted, stressed, or emotionally unavailable, those pathways weaken. This is not about blame. Most parents who struggle with emotional availability were never taught this. They are doing their best with what they know. But now you know. There is another critical skill children need to learn during these early years: emotional regulation. Emotional regulation is the ability to manage your feelings without being overwhelmed by them. A child who screams and throws a toy because they are frustrated, they are not a bad child. They are a child whose brain has not yet learned how to handle big emotions. Your job as a parent is not to eliminate those emotions. Your job is to help your child learn to ride the wave of emotion without drowning in it. More on how to do that coming right up. We are halfway through this journey. Please stay with us. What comes next about emotional intelligence could literally change your child's entire future. The power of emotional intelligence. Decades of research now show one thing very clearly. Emotionally intelligent children grow into healthier, happier, more successful adults. Not children who were told to hide their feelings. Not children who were punished for crying. Not children who were told, "Stop being dramatic." Children who were taught to understand, name, and manage their emotions. It starts with something simple: naming emotions. When a child is crying, most parents say, "Stop crying, you are fine." But what that child's brain hears is, "Your feelings are wrong. You should not feel this way." Instead, try this: "I can see you are really upset right now. It is okay to feel that way. Can you tell me what happened?" That one shift does something powerful. It validates the child's experience. It teaches them that their feelings are real, and it opens a conversation instead of shutting one down. Psychologist Daniel Siegel calls this "name it to tame it." When we put words on an emotion, we activate the thinking part of the brain, and that helps calm the emotional storm. The second skill is emotion coaching. Emotion coaching does not mean solving your child's problems. It means helping them navigate their emotions. Imagine your 8-year-old comes home furious because a friend said something hurtful. Most parents immediately jump to, "Well, maybe you did something wrong too," or just ignore them. An emotion coaching parent says, "That sounds really painful. Being hurt by a friend is one of the hardest things. What do you think you want to do?" Notice what happened there. The parent did not dismiss, did not lecture, did not fix. They listened, they validated, and then they trusted their child to begin thinking through the problem. This teaches children something priceless. My feelings are information, not emergencies. The third skill is co-regulation, and this one surprises most parents. Your child learns to calm themselves by watching you stay calm. When you raise your voice during their tantrum, their nervous system escalates. When you stay calm, speak softly, and breathe, their nervous system begins to settle. You are not just responding to the behavior. You are training their brain how to regulate. This is science, not a theory, a fact. Communication that builds trust. There is a moment every parent fears: the moment their child stops talking to them. Not because something terrible happened, but because slowly, quietly, the child learned that sharing certain things was not safe. Maybe they were dismissed. Maybe they were lectured. Maybe they were punished for being honest. And so they learned to keep things inside. The good news? This does not have to happen. And the difference between a child who talks to you and a child who does not often comes down to one thing: how you respond when they do talk. Active listening is more than just staying quiet while someone speaks. It means there is a moment every parent fears: the moment their child stops talking to them. Not because something terrible happened, but because slowly, quietly, the child learned that sharing certain things was not safe. Maybe they were dismissed.
Maybe they were lectured. Maybe they were punished for being honest. And so they learned to keep things inside. The good news? This does not have to happen. And the difference between a child who talks to you and a child who does not often comes down to one thing: how you respond when they do talk. Active listening is more than just staying quiet while someone speaks. It means,
Here is a realistic conversation to think about. A 13-year-old daughter comes home quiet. A parent notices and says, "You seem a little off today. Do you want to talk, or do you need some time first?" She says, "I don't know. It's stupid." The parent says, "Nothing that matters to you is stupid to me." She opens up. That conversation happened not because of a perfect technique. It happened because the parent made it safe. They did not pressure. They did not judge. They just made room. Respectful communication also means watching your tone. Research by communication expert Albert Morabian showed that 55% of communication is body language, 38% is tone of voice, and only 7% is the actual words. Your child hears how you say things far more than what you say. Speak to your child the way you would want someone to speak to you. Stay right there. Next, we are covering positive discipline and why traditional punishment might actually be making your child's behavior worse, not better. Positive discipline instead of punishment. Let us talk about one of the most misunderstood topics in all of parenting: discipline. Most people use the words discipline and punishment as if they mean the same thing. They do not. Punishment is about making a child suffer for what they did wrong. Discipline, which comes from the Latin word for teaching, is about helping a child learn what to do better next time. Fear can stop behavior in the moment, but fear never builds character. A child who does not hit their sibling because they are scared of consequences has not learned that hitting is wrong. They have only learned that hitting gets them in trouble when someone is entrusted. A child who understands why hitting hurts someone and who has been taught better ways to handle anger, that child is building real emotional skills. Psychologist Diana Baumrind's famous research on parenting styles showed that authoritative parenting, warm but firm, with clear boundaries and explanations, produced the most emotionally healthy children. Not authoritarian parenting, which is controlling, harsh, and fear-based. Not permissive parenting, which has love but no structure. Authoritative, loving, clear, consistent. Natural consequences. Letting reality teach the lesson. If your child refuses to wear a jacket, they feel cold. That is the natural consequence. You do not need to yell. Reality already taught the lesson. Logical consequences. Consequences that are directly connected to the behavior. If your child breaks a toy during a tantrum, the logical consequence is that the toy is gone. Not a lecture, not a week of punishments. Just when we are rough with things, they break. That is what happened here. Teaching, not controlling. Every time. Okay. And you are still here, and we are glad. Coming up, we are going to show you how the wrong kind of praise might actually be hurting your child's confidence, and what to say instead. Praise the right way. You want to encourage your child. Of course you do. So you say, "You are so smart. You are so talented. You are the best." And here is the surprising truth. That kind of praise, the kind focused on who they are rather than what they did, can actually reduce their confidence. Psychologist Carol Dweck from Stanford University spent years studying this exact question. What she found changed how we understand motivation.
Children who were regularly told, "You are so smart," became afraid to try hard things, because if they failed, they might no longer be smart.
Children who were told, "You worked really hard on that," became more willing to take on challenges, because they learned that effort is what creates success. Dweck called this the difference between a fixed mindset and a growth mindset. Fixed mindset: I am either smart or I am not. Growth mindset: I can get better at anything if I keep trying. And the way you praise your child every day plants one of these mindsets in their brain. Process praise, praising the effort, the strategy, the persistence, is what builds real, lasting confidence. Instead of, "You were so smart," try, "I love how you kept trying, even when it was hard." Instead of, "You are amazing," try, "Look at how much you have improved. That is because you practiced." That is not just better parenting. That is neuroscience. Teach independence. Here is a question worth sitting with. When your child faces a problem, what is your first instinct? For many parents, it is to fix it immediately, completely. And it comes from love, real love. But here is what that love is accidentally teaching your child. You cannot handle this. You need me to do it for you. Every time you solve a problem your child could have wrestled with themselves, you take away a small chance for them to discover their own strength. Raising an independent child does not mean leaving them alone with their problems. It means standing beside them while they figure things out, instead of stepping in front of them. It starts small. Let your 5-year-old choose their own outfit, even if it does not match. Let your 8-year-old pack their own bag and feel the natural consequence of forgetting something. Let your 12-year-old work through a conflict with a friend before offering advice. Responsibility, problem-solving, and decision-making are not talents children are born with. They are skills, muscles, and they only grow through use. A parent who allows their child to experience manageable failure and who stays nearby to offer calm support, not rescue, is raising a child who will be resilient. Resilience is not toughness. It is not pretending pain does not exist. It is knowing deeply from experience that I have been through hard things and I came out the other side. Your child cannot learn that if you always carry them over every rough patch. Let them walk it sometimes. Stay close, but let them walk. Okay, we are almost at the most powerful part of this documentary. Please don't leave now. What comes next is something every parent needs to hear, even the great ones. The most important lesson. Your child will forget most of what you bought them. The toys, the gadgets, the gifts wrapped in shiny paper. They will forget many of the vacations, many of the parties, many of the things you sacrificed so hard to give them. But they will not forget how you made them feel. They will not forget the night you sat beside them when they cried and did not try to fix it, just stayed. They will not forget the morning you showed up, even though you were exhausted, because they needed you. They will not forget the way you looked at them when they did something they were proud of. They will not forget the day you said, "I was wrong. I am sorry." Every single day, every conversation, every moment of eye contact, every time you choose presence over distraction, you are shaping something that will last longer than any gift you will ever buy. You are shaping their voice inside their own head. The voice that tells them whether they are worthy of love, whether the world is safe, whether they can handle hard things, whether they matter. You are building that voice with your words, your tone, your attention, your consistency. And here is the truth that should both humble and inspire you. You do not have to be perfect to build something beautiful. You just have to show up. You have to keep learning, even when it is uncomfortable. You have to repair, even when it is humbling. You have to cheese your child's emotional world, especially on the days when you are tired, when you are triggered, when everything in you wants to react instead of respond. Great parenting is not a performance. It is not a highlight reel. It is 1,000 ordinary moments, chosen carefully, lived fully, offered with love. Your child does not need a perfect parent. They need you, trying, growing, showing up. That is the greatest gift you. If this video made you think, even for just one moment, differently about the parent you want to be, then it did exactly what it was meant to do. Please take 5 seconds right now and hit the like button. It costs you nothing, and it helps this message reach more parents who need to hear it. Drop a comment below. Tell us, what is one thing from this video you are going to try with your child? We read every single comment, and your words matter to this community. And if you are not subscribed yet, please subscribe right now and turn on the notification bell. We create content like this every week because we believe that better parenting creates a better world. Share this video with one parent in your life, one person who is trying their best and might need to hear that their best is enough. Thank you for watching. Thank you for caring enough to learn. We will see you in the next one.